Yeah, I want to talk about Tyson Fury, actually. Tyson Fury, he fought Derek Chisora a couple weeks ago, whatever it was, last week it was. Won every round, basically. Maybe he lost one, but he basically took care of business easily. It wasn't a competitive fight. Tyson Fury is a great heavyweight. I think he has the potential to be an all-time great heavyweight. As of right now, Tyson Fury is not in my top 10 heavyweights of all time list. Now, I'm not a boxing historian. I don't know all the history. I'm not like one of these, Bert Sugar types where I know all the, champs from every year, but I know a lot. And even to me, he's not in the top 10 all time. Just if you want to talk Jack Johnson, Jack Dempsey, Joe Louis, Rocky Marciano, Ali, that's already 5 right there. Liston, I would say over him still. Frazier, Foreman, Larry Holmes, Holyfield, Tyson, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, Vladimir Klitschko. How is this guy top 10 all time? Let's look back at Fury's career. He beat a 39-year-old Klitschko. Great win. He ended his run, but he was 39 years old. Did not give him the rematch that Klitschko was supposed to have because Klitschko was the, champion for so long. He was supposed to get that rematch. And to me, considering Fury's physical health at the time and mental condition, Klitschko would have won that rematch easily. Then when he comes back 3 years later, goes on the road, gets knocked down twice by Wilder. I thought he really won that fight. So we could even count that as an unofficial win. Okay, knocks out Wilder, great win. Beats Wilder again in the third fight, great win. We're now at 4 fights now in championship fights, really 3, and Dylan White and Chisora. So he's got 5 championship wins in his career. To put this into context, Joe Louis is 26, Muhammad Ali is 25 or 22, Larry Holmes is 20, Klitschko is 18, Lennox Lewis is 15, Mike Tyson is 13. Like, you get the point. He is 5, and the 5 were against old Klitschko, Wilder, Dylan White, who was top 5 at the time. I'll give him that. That was legit. And way past the Chisora. So I don't know. And who's the great heavyweight he beat? Klitschko, okay. Well, he was 39 years old. Wilder, it's interesting with Wilder where Wilder's only great when you're defending Fury's resume. But then when people talk about Wilder, they say, oh, he's not that good. He's just a puncher, blah, 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 blah. Then when it comes to defending Fury's resume, oh, he's his great all-time great heavyweight. You can't have it both ways. And Tyson Fury himself tries to have it both ways. He says Deontay Wilder is a basketball player. He can't box. He's a bum, all these things. But then when it comes to defending his resume, he's the hardest puncher ever. He would beat all the other heavyweights. You can't have it both ways. It's got to be either Wilder's elite or he's not. So when I look at Tyson Fury, I don't think he's a top 10 heavyweight of all time from an accomplishment standpoint. He doesn't have the longevity and he doesn't have those top end wins yet. But if he went on to beat Usyk for the undisputed title, I think then I would have to say he's top 10 of all time because to me, he did what a lot of those other guys did. He did what Marciano did because he would be undisputed and Marciano retired, but he'd be undisputed too. He did what Dempsey did. He did what Tunney, same thing. He did what Liston did, kinda. He was the undisputed guy. Then he only had one title defense. He fought Muhammad Ali. Joe Frazier had the title, short run, etc. Mike Tyson, even you could throw in there, and he beat better opposition than a lot of those guys. You take a guy like Rocky Marciano. He beat old Joe Louis. He beat old Vlad Klitschko. But when Fury beat old Vladimir Klitschko was the champion. Marciano beat old Joe Louis. Joe Louis was coming back because he needed the money. So I don't look at that as the equivalent. He beat Joe Walcott. He beat Ezra Charles. Those are really good wins. But to me, Usyk and Wilder are probably the equivalent of that, if not even better. Usyk, undefeated world champion. Joe Walcott, he was a light heavyweight champion. And same with Ezra Charles. And Wilder's the most ferocious puncher in history. So to me, if he won that fight, Tyson Fury, he'd be ahead of someone like Rocky Marciano or Jack Dempsey or, people like Joe Frazier and probably Mike Tyson too. So I'd have to think about that kind of stuff. But the point is, if he won that fight versus Usyk, he'd be top 10 ever. If you go and beat Usyk, Joshua, and Joyce, those other three top guys in your era, not including him and Wilder, obviously, can't take it. We're talking maybe borderline top five all time heavyweight. So that's where I'm kind of with that. I think Tyson Fury's great, but I think that his lack of dedication to the sport hurt him, and I think that the fact that he didn't have a longer run, it's a problem. I mean, it shows a lack of mental fortitude. Not trying to take shots at him. I'm just saying, a lot of people they talk about guys like Vladimir Klitschko not having the greatest opposition, but to win 18 straight fights at a championship level is impressive. And I know Klitschko never beat anyone as good as Fury beating Vladimir Klitschko or Fury beating Deontay Wilder, but he has like I don't know 12 Dylan Whites on his resume. So to me, that's a better overall career. But Tyson Fury, go beat Usyk, and then we could talk about you being an all-time great. But as of right now, today, can I say he's a top 10 heavyweight of all time? No, I cannot. And that's just me.